Yay. Episode 5. We here.
We in the party.
Just the three of us. We gonna make it. Y'all remember that song? Wait, no, it's just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Just the three. But no, guys, episode 5. We made it this far. So if you've been rocking with us from the beginning, thank you. And if you're just now tuning in, thank you too.
Welcome from the Throne Podcast.
Word.
Yes.
And like you said, we loving the support. We love, the outreach and all the guests. Everybody want to come up here. We see the messages. We're gonna do our best to get each guest up there.
Man, we appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
y'all, man, for rocking with us.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, just popping out. I mean, watching, actually paying attention to stuff. When I hear people like reciting saying stuff that we said and stuff
that shit is
on
crazy.
the show.
Watching us on their
like,
big
man,
TVs.
Like, talking about the button and the Reebok Pope.
Please chill.
All right.
Tonight, baby,
We chilling
I'm
today.
gonna get freaky with you. The Reebok Punk would do that.
It's International Women's Month. Mm-hmm. So today, I'm going to lead this part.
Go ahead.
So I want to know about a special woman in you guys' lives, like someone that was very influential.
So we're going to salute a woman based off, it's International Woman. And we should celebrate women all the time.
Yeah,
much,
but it's our mom. So same way Black History, we should celebrate it all the time. But,
no, we don't, right? But, all right. So you want to lead, bro?
Yeah, I can lead. I want to, all right, let me see. Out of, respect, this is for my I want to lead with my grandmother. My grandmothers, actually. I'm gonna do 3. I'm sorry, all 3 of them are my grandmothers though. The one that I was actually raised by, and that's my mom's mom, and we grew up in Far Rockaway on Edgemere, and she instilled a lot of
Shout out to Far Rock.
Yeah,
shout out to Rock.
Yeah, shout out to my nana, and so yeah, her, my grandmother, and on my dad's side, my other grandmother, and her mom, my great grandmother. They all were just so beautiful, and they just showed me a lot. They instilled a lot of pride and dignity in me, and that's what they uphold. They hold the family together, all 3 of them, So yeah, the morals and principles and the values that they instilled, and they showed me things without even saying stuff, just the way that they moved. I just watched the way that they moved and stuff like that. And so I just grew up into be very respectful of women because of just watching how they moved and how they interacting with other people and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like that's missing this day and age though. How the grandmother is always the rock of the family. Everybody used to go to their grandma's house with all the cousins and uncles just to go over there. These grandmothers is 30 now. They so young.
My mama 40.
That's crazy.
Grandma Dynamite. They partying now.
Yeah, I remember
with the kids.
That back in the days, that was just and they have a saying. He's once the grandma passed away, the whole family.
Yeah, it's the rock.
Tumbles that she kind of holds it down for everybody.
Facts.
Yeah. So what about me, huh? I got a lot of women.
Slow,
you gotta ask. I gotta ask myself the question. What about me? But so I got a lot of women that I look up to and pretty much inspire me. Obviously, I always talk about my sister, my mom, but this lady, the lady I want to put on a pedestal, and she was very influential in my life. It was my 3rd and 4th grade teacher. Right, her name is Miss Kuzar. And that lady was so special. Beautiful white lady. She took care of me.
Cooling it up.
It's not no cool. It's a
I'm
beautiful
playing
white lady. What's that mean? But yeah. So it was 3rd and 4th grade. I was having trouble in school during that time, and She took me aside one day and she was like, Jesse, you are special. I don't know what you're doing. Get your shit together in 3rd and 4th grade.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? Took me aside. I think I was about to get suspended. I think I was on my way to getting suspended for like getting a fight. I was like fighting a lot. And I think I was fighting somebody. And then what happened is she took me off the line. I think we was leaving class and she like sat me down. I was crying. She's like, listen, Jesse, what you doing? In 3rd and 4th grade, had like a real grown adult conversation. Like, yo,
that's
you're
crazy.
Special.
You never forgot that and stuck with you all the time.
And that lady, to this day, like that lady, she never like treated me different. Like she was so stern on me too. Like she was like, you know, some people just kind of like, they do favoritism and they just, you know, a little easy and they like kind of push back. Nah. Like she was make sure I was on top of every single thing. And like from that, like she saw some special to like, you know, a lot of people see like special things in a child at a younger age, right? But she was like one of the first like teachers that brought it out to me. Like and man, she taught me so much. Like and like you know what I'm saying? I just really, really appreciate Miss Kuza. If anybody knows where she is, I would love to take her out to eat. And I hope she's alive still. But like
she on Facebook.
Yeah, I gotta find her on Facebook, but like, yo, this lady, I mean, like,
on Facebook, but you know,
she gotta be on Facebook. But you know, all the older people on Facebook now.
Right.
But yeah, she was very, very impactful in my life, and you know, I'm glad she was very strict with me too. Like, she gave me that sternness that I need at that age, and also it made me become like a leader. You know what I'm saying? Because most kids at a young age, they're followers, and she was like, no, you Jesse, you're a leader. You lead by example. And so shout out to Miss Kuza, my 3rd and 4th grade teacher, PS21, Staten Island, New York.
Shout out to Miss Kuza.
How about you, sis?
I have so many influential women in my life. Excuse my eyelashes tweaking out. This eyelash sucks. Fucking upset. But yeah, so she I honestly just want to say my mom, because at the end of the day she had me when she was 17, and for
Mama Love.
For her to be 17 and just still do everything that she did for me and show me how to be an independent woman and not depend on a man, that's important, especially in this generation, because we don't have the same lifestyle where, you know, the men just took care of the women. It's a new day and age, you know, and she prepared me for what was to come. You know, I had a daddy that took care of me too. I got a daddy. I love you too, daddy.
But this ain't daddy month.
This ain't daddy month. I holla at you on Father's Day.
Right.
Holla at you on Father's Day. But, you know, my mom, you know, she's a big part of my life and my son's life, and she sacrifices everything for her children. So she makes sure that we come first, and now her grandchild. So she puts us first, and she'll go without just so we can have. She still does my laundry. She feeds me. She cooks for me. And, you know, she'll take me to where I need to go, and I appreciate that. I love you, Mommy. Thanks for being a bad bitch. Okay. Period. And she told me how to be a bad bitch, because for real, my mom was always fleeky, that ass.
Okay.
And now I just got the drip from my mom.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
it look like we drinking the same thing from episode 1. What's up? What we drinking today?
Yeah, it's a flashback. Throwback Thursday. Nah, but listen, man, I'm not trying. Listen, it's the second time. I ain't gonna keep promoting y'all. Y'all gonna have to cut a check or something. What y'all talking about? But yeah, it's the roast. You know, it's the joint.
La Roscato.
Yeah, Roscato, man. Rosados, man. The sweet red, man. So yeah, this is one of Frenchie's favorites. So I had to bring it by for her again.
Okay.
So yeah.
Why you love this wine so much, sis?
Because it's just so, like, it has like this sweet, and then it has like a champagne-y taste. Like, it gives like a little bit of a fizz, no? Don't you feel like definitely. The fizz? So it's not like you're just drinking wine. Like, it gives me like a classy version of Taylor Port. If you know what
Taylor Port,
it's like a classy version of Taylor Port. If you know what Taylor Port is, Taylor Port is like, you know, that's the grape Henny. You go get that bottle, you get a gallon for like $10. Yeah. But this is just beautiful. It has the right taste, the right touch, and the bitches love it.
Also, if you guys have any recommendations that what kind of wine, like, 'cause I know a lot of wine connoisseurs are starting to watch it. They send us like, oh, you should drink this wine, and we get a lot of recommendations.
Yeah, I can send us bottles too.
Yeah, I mean, we've been getting bottles, so on top of that's what's up. Keep on sending them in. Yeah. Getting dread.
Yeah,
so y'all know what time it is.
Oh, French facts.
Y'all know what time it is.
Yeah, I almost forgot. I'm sitting here drinking a wine. Like, what's next?
What's the French facts of the week? What's on your mind?
I seen, like, it's so much going on in the news, first of all. But the funniest thing to me was with Kirk Franklin. So his son had secretly recorded him, and he was like cursing his son out. And everybody thinks because he's a gospel singer, like he's not supposed to have any type of sin or any type of thing like that. But it's like we're all human, and sometimes kids do get out of line. And no matter how old you are, you shouldn't disrespect your parents. That's just the way that I was raised. Maybe my generation was the last for that, but I definitely was raised not to disrespect your parents because there will be consequences, you know. And it's supposed to, the Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, you still should because they gave you life and they're the reason why you're here. Unless you have parents that, you know, just blatantly disrespect you, don't do anything for you, and don't care for you and never have, because there are those too. You only respect those that respect you. But if you're older and you feel like you can't deal with your parents, you might as well just stay away from them rather than going on social media and crying like a little-ass baby when you're 30-something years old about, my daddy doesn't love me. He doesn't want to pay my bills or pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Move on. If 30 years went by and you're still feeling these ways, move on. Because only at that point we have to stop blaming our parents and start blaming ourselves for why we still holding on to their baggage. Mm-hmm. Because our parents will be fine at home, not giving a fuck about what's going on with us. Right. But then you sit there and you hold on to all that anger and animosity, and he about to drop the hottest gospel mixtape of 2021.
Stomp a mud hole in there.
Make me want to stomp
a mud hole in there.
And you're just sitting there crying. So I just
melodies of a fist.
I just think when it comes to family business in general, it shouldn't be blasted or aired out on social media. It's toxic. And you know, as a kid, you could get away with doing that, but then once you're an adult, it's like, okay, you're either about to have kids or you have kids, and you should learn like you wouldn't want your kids doing that. So even certain things that I post, I might post and delete it because I don't even want my son seeing it when he gets older. The way social media plays out, you see the way they go back on celebrities on Twitter from like 10 years ago, and they post like the one time they said this little N-word or whatever the case may be. It's like they make everything a problem. So it's like you have to be very careful about what you put out there if you don't want to get the feedback from it. And now him and his sister is having a family feud going back and forth on Instagram, and his father has to apologize because he's a public figure. It's like, no, just keep family business to yourself. We all know that families go through stuff. Everybody's family goes through things. It doesn't need to be on social media.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, you know, we do got to cherish our parents more often. I said it, I think, in the last episode, like, we only get one set of parents, like, you know what I mean? And also, we got to understand that, like, you know, our parents didn't have, like, it wasn't a rule book to, like, raise children. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay for them to make mistakes, you know what I mean? You know, you holding on grudges, that's another thing. And obviously, we don't know, like, the true relationship Kirk Franklin has with his son. But, you know, I think there's a time where things got to stay in home, right? And off social media where, you have that engagement with your children. And, you know, then it's times where you can post stuff on social media and stuff like that. It's just, it got to be a boundary these days. Yeah. And I think that's what's missing, you know, because, like, everything is not for social media, right? And I think his son was out to hurt him, to be honest, because it's like, you know.
But like I said, we don't know what he went through as a child. But it's like at some point you have to forgive people that don't even want your forgiveness. You know, you have to sit there and say, well, my dad he might be doing this for this child, but didn't do it for me. But you know what? I forgive him. Because I want to be a better person. Holding on to like anger and stuff like that will never help you heal. So whatever he did do it to you, because nobody's a saint. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Kirk Franklin's innocent. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm just saying we don't know what they went through with each other, and both of them are wrong for even bringing it to social media, honestly. And maybe Kirk didn't so much put it out there, but doing even a public apology because he's a public figure is kind of still like crass because it's still your child. Like I would just call my kid up like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass when I see you. Like I don't care how old you get, you know what I mean? Like, and now if I want to be spiteful, I can sue you. You know what I mean? Like just turning family things into a business thing, because it's like, what did you try to do? What was you trying to get out of that? Just people to look at him the way you see him. And it's like now people are just blaming you because it's like, well, why were you recording your father? That's all people are saying now, you know?
He tried to tarnish his career. Like, that's what got me kind of messed up. Like, you put that out there for what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you tried to end his career by doing that. You knew what you was doing.
And people were not going to stop. Nobody's canceling Kirk Franklin.
Yeah, it's like
that man got too many hits.
People act like people
he had too many scandals.
Yeah, people act like people, church folk don't have problems and they don't curse and don't do
even
things
the
like
devil was an angel.
Yeah, they're not
perfect.
perfect. No one is perfect.
Nobody's
like
perfect.
we all have our issues and we all go through stuff and it's real life going on every day. You know what I'm saying? Like how could you avoid it? You know what I'm saying? Like so yeah, we all have issues with family members, friends and stuff like that. So but just the fact that he took it and put it on social media, that was wicked.
That was whack.
That was nasty.
That's premeditated too.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
And like Frenchie says, at some point you got to take accountability. Like you're 30 plus, you're 32 years old, you're a grown man. Like so at some point you got to take accountability. Your parents can't do everything for you. Like
correct.
They instill certain things in you and implemented certain things in you. So you should be good from there on out. You can't blame them for everything. At some point you got to take accountability and say, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? Like
that's big,
it.
man.
Yeah, you got to
accountability.
Yeah,
man.
accountability. People don't want to do that. That's a lot of that's the hardest part, to look in the mirror and say, okay, I suck. I'm not doing this, or I can be better at that.
Correct.
People don't really want to boss up a lot of times and do what they have to do to, move forward. So, yeah.
So, moving on.
What's that?
Let's talk about the topic of the day, right?
What that is.
And the topic of the day is, I know a lot of people want to know, like, because a lot of people see us out, and not even to sound conceited or not, like, us three is pretty much known in New York, especially even being in a wheelchair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows. And I know a lot of questions is like, yo, how do we deal with this mentally? Right? People look at us like, yo, you guys are so strong. Frenchie got a child, right? I know when I was telling live the other day when I seen Frenchie with her baby and like the baby on her lap and going up into the gym, and I stopped my car and I was driving. I stopped my car. I'm like, yo, that shit was fucking expiring. I'm like, yo, that shit was like real, some superwoman shit. But at the end of the day, you're just living your life. You're not thinking about like I'm trying to inspire somebody. You got, listen, I got my son right here. We got to get up this hill.
I had to get my curry chicken.
I
had to get up.
Outside looking in, you got to understand. Like I said, I stopped my car. I'm like, yo, that shit it was just crazy to see. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not normal. You don't really see that. So I know a lot of people, ask us like, yo, how was our mental journey from the beginning all the way to present day? I don't know. Want to start this off?
Don't look at me.
I'll start, of course. I feel like before I got injured, I feel like I was a child, so I was still figuring out who I was. I didn't know who I was. I just knew that I like to have fun. I like to be cute, and I was just rebellious. Anything that people wanted to do, I didn't want to do because I didn't want to be a follower. And I don't know if it made me ignorant or better than, I don't know, but I just knew that I needed to change. And had I not got injured, I probably would have just ended up regular. And I wasn't made to be a regular person. Not trying to be like funny or cocky or anything like that, but God made me to be amazing. And I had to go through something dark in order for me to wake up, because I was just existing. I wasn't living. Like, I was just existing. I was just going through my daily life, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nothing matters in the world besides my problems. And then you wake up one day and it's like, wow, there are real problems in the world, and that really bust my head up, because I went through so many traumas just as a child, down from I've been abused, I've been raped, just went through a lot of things with friends and family members, just relationships and stuff like that. So I didn't really feel those things then. But once I got injured, it was like, wow, everything just came at once. And it was like, damn, I really feel this shit. And you start to just think about everything, how things could have been differently. And then it's like, well, even if I think things could be differently, they still won't be different if I don't make anything change. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit in this chair, I could mope about my life, or I could change. When I first got injured, I was in the hospital and I was like, I'm gonna walk. I was miserable in the hospital. I was mad. I was angry. I felt so much anger. Like, it was to the point where it was just like, I didn't even want people to visit me. I had so many friends and stuff like that come visit me, and I didn't even get excited about visitors. I just wanted to be by myself. I wanted to deal by myself. And yeah, I put a smile on, and I was still posting and acting like everything was okay, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Act like everything's okay. But it wasn't. And it's okay not to let people in on your problems, because a lot of times people just try to use them against you. Everybody that I let in on how I really felt ended up throwing it in my face. So it taught me a lot about not trusting people, That's one thing that I did learn. You cannot trust people with yourself, especially when you're in a vulnerable position, because people just want to take advantage of that. They'll sit there and they'll listen to you mope. They'll listen to you cry. And then later on, they tell you, well, you said this, and it's like, wow, so you weren't listening to actually understand me. You were listening to try and hurt me one day. And I had so many of those people in my life at that time, especially being 15. You never have the right people in your life. Like, you got to grow up, you know? So I grew up, and I still have some of the same people in my life, and then I have a lot that are different. But I also, I was mad. I don't know who I was mad at. I think I was mad at myself. And so many people were blaming themselves. My parents were blaming themselves for letting me go. My aunt was at the party where my injury happened, and she blamed herself. And then I had friends that blamed themselves because they were supposed to go with me. They didn't go. You know, I have people that were there at the same place and it didn't happen to them. So it was so many people blaming themselves. It was like I just blamed myself because I put myself in that situation, you know, and I had to forgive the person who harmed me. Even though I don't know him and he doesn't know me, I had to forgive him because it was to the point where I almost turned myself into something that I wasn't. I'm not no gangster. I'm not no street chick. You know, I'm from the hood, but I'm not a street chick. You know, like, there's girls that's really in the streets. There's girls that really go do a drill. I got friends like that. I got friends that don't care. Like, but I didn't want to be that person, and that's how I could have ended up. So I'm glad that I feel like my chair changed me for the better. Honestly, I wouldn't have had my son. I wouldn't have had the people that I have in my life now. I wouldn't have even met you guys. We wouldn't have been doing this to open up doors. And I feel like God put me in this position because I'm strong and I'm able to get up and still live my life and do what I got to do. He knew I wasn't going to give up on myself. But it was a time period where I did.
It's a journey. You wasn't always like that to get where you at now.
That's why I tell people, like, when you see me, don't think like it's just flowers and rainbows and makeup. No, it's not that. Like, you get up and you be mad as hell. Like, I wanted to think about hurting the people that hurt me. That's the first thing that was on my mind when I woke up. Like, kill them. Kill these niggas. Yeah,
because that's a human emotion.
Yeah, it's like they all need to die. Like, who did this to me? And it's like you start thinking like about all the people that just up and running and they did so much grimy things to people. And it's like, well, how are you still running? And you start looking at them like this should have happened to you, you know? And I had those feelings. I had the feelings where it was like I had friends that was with me every day and they'd come check me in the hospital. And I had those feelings where it's like, well, I'm not fucking with you when I come home. And I cut some people off. But then that's also, some people may not be ready to see you in that position. Because even though we say, well, your parents had to, my mom had to come see me. My dad had to come see me. I was their child. But my friends, you know, if they're used to seeing me up and running and I'm the life of the party, and then now it's like, damn, she got to sit this one out. It was hard for them too. So I had to have those real conversations too, which hurt because it's like the person I was looking for the most, I couldn't even talk. I'm writing on the paper like, where is she? Da 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 da. She wasn't there. She was out smoking and drinking, but that was her way of coping. We made up from that. But, you know, I don't hold on to things. I don't blame people for my problems. I blame myself for how I allow people in my life, how I allow people to treat me, what I allow myself to do. And at the end of the day, I forgave myself. And that's the most important part about getting any type of injury, forgiving yourself, because a lot of the times people don't realize we blame ourselves for what happened to us. It's like, well, maybe I should have stayed inside that day. Everything was telling me to stay inside, but I still wanted to go outside. So it's like I blamed myself for a lot of things.
Still was young though, Frenchie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Still young.
But when you're young, it's even worse because now I can understand like it's not your fault. You know what I mean? But when you're young, it's like, well, damn, why did I go and do this? Why did I have to go and do this? Because even though I was still young, I took a lot of years out of my, you know what I mean? Like I took a lot of time away from myself just because I was young, and that's not an excuse just to be young and bullshit. You know,
it's an excuse to be young and grow. You have to go through certain things.
To young and grow. But I bullshitted a lot of the time just because it was like, well, whatever. I'm in a chair. You know, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna do what I was supposed to do. I always wanted to go away to college. I didn't do that because I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna just stay here and live a normal life. I went to BMCC and dropped out like 2 months later. Like, it's a lot of things that I wanted to do, but it's like, you know what? The position that I'm in now, I would have never been in if this didn't happen to me, and I just take it as like a blessing. But at the same time, of course, a blessing comes with a curse, I feel like, because it's like I had to choose between my legs or everything that I have now. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I had to do this situation again, I tell people all the time, and it sounds crazy, I would still go through the same situation because of one person, which is my son. I would have never had him if I didn't get in this chair. I could have still had kids, but not the same exact child that I have now. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed and I'm grateful, so I wouldn't change a thing. Regardless of what happened, what I've been through, I would keep my situation the same. But mentally, I feel like I started off I was oblivious, and now I'm just so much stronger. And my mindset is like on 1,000. Like every day I just want to grow and think about something, and I stimulate my mind and stimulate myself with plans and things that I want and things that I'm going to do. So I feel like it helped me grow a lot, honestly.
Okay. Now, what about you, bro? How was your journey mentally?
It was tough. It was rough. Man. I was also angry. I was also angry.
A lot of people look at you as the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? This wheelchair shit. So, you know what I mean? A lot of people listening to see, you know what I'm saying, how you get that far. Because you obviously using the chair longer than both of us.
Yeah.
So you experienced a lot different.
A couple months ago, made 18 years that I've been in the chair. So when it first started, like I was coming from like the streets, like the street essence, like, so I was like really heavy into, the streets and stuff like that. So when it happened, I was really in the field. Like, it was a lot going on back at that time. I'm talking about in the 50 Cent era, where it was like you was really trying to get rich or die trying. It was really crazy out there, like now we have social media, so you can
pretend.
But not only that, it's just so many things. There's so many like resources now. You can get into a whole bunch of things. Back then we didn't have. Growing up in Far Rockaway, it wasn't really much. So anyway, back to like the mental aspect. Like when it first happened to me, I was like Frenchie said, I was angry. Of course, I wanted revenge. It was I was bitter. I was hurt. I was miserable. It was a lot. Well, but how I guess I started getting back, it was like one step at a time, right? Because at first I remember I wanted to be in the house, just wanted to spend time with myself. I didn't want to go out. I was like, nah, I'm not. But then as I started to like little by little, at first I started like just to dress. I remember I started like dressing like myself. And I'm like, I felt good one time, like, because at first I was just in the house. I wasn't even going out. Like my hair get crazy. I wasn't even dressing, like, and I remember, and then I started, just going out. One time I went out to the club or whatever, and like some lady, she really tried to talk to me in the club, and I was like, damn, it felt good that somebody like seen me and appreciated me. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, damn, and that's when I started. I was like, okay, I started dressing like myself again. Started, going out shopping a little bit.
Good.
It went down the wrong hole.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm listening.
So I started doing that. Then from there, I wanted to go and finish college and stuff like that. So I started going back to school and stuff. But unfortunately, that's when I still had like these tubes in me and stuff. And I was catching like a lot of UTIs. So unfortunately, I was in the hospital for like 3-4 weeks at one time. I just started. I was only in there for like maybe a month, and then I missed school for like 3-4 weeks. And then it was over. I just stopped that. But it was just little steps like that, me just getting back out there, putting myself out there, you get what I'm saying? Like, and being around people and stuff like that. And that's what made me feel more like myself and more whole. Like, I didn't just sit in my own thoughts. Well, at first I did. And I feel like that's a big part of it too. I feel like you got to deal with it. Like, a lot of people try to escape it with like, maybe it's whatever your vice is. Some people is weed, some people is liquor, it's sex also. Yeah, it's things like that. Some people, they just try to escape it and overindulge and stuff like that. And me, I dealt with it. I really sat with it and dealt with it and got to know.
So you were sober?
Oh yeah, most of the time. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had a phase though. I had a phase where I was partying a lot and stuff like that, and that definitely wasn't good. But I had to go through it though. It was something that I needed in order to realize, okay, this is not getting you anywhere either. Like, and it's certain things that I went through, and I'm like, okay, Antoine, what's gonna be the outcome? Like, I'm saying, like, what are you gonna do to make your life better? Like, is this gonna help? Is this helping you in any way? Like, and that's when I just started to like evaluate, my life and my what I wanted for my life, so.
What was that big aha moment, that big leap? Because I think I'm going to speak about my experience too, but it has to be like a moment like, you got over a certain hurdle that to make you like, man, I can do this. What was that?
For me, not to cut you, what it was for me? A lot of times also too, being in the street, coming up from the streets, I was always worried about what people thought of me. And to me, I feel like that was more crippling than my actual injury, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it crippled me more than my physical abilities, because I was too worried about, like, damn, if I do this, if I try this, what they gonna think? And like the streets, they don't really, all they care about and all they know about is street stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? So they don't respect really much of anything else, right? So I was always worried about that aspect. So once I got rid of that, that's when I got my wings. But it took me to do. I remember I shot like a video. Remember the rap video, the song I did?
Oh yeah.
My friend, my bro, cause he pushed me out. He pushed me to do it. Like, bro, you ever rap before? I'm like, no. He like, bro, you're well respected. Like, dudes really like respect you and admire you. Like, I think you should try it. Like, I said, bro, I never rapped a day in my life, and then shot the video. But after that, it just gave me more like, yo, you could like try something else. Like, you know, and that's when I just started the acting and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, next I want to start acting. And I stepped out on faith, and I really took acting classes and courses, and I went to like Tasha Smith acting workshop in New York. Then I flew to Atlanta and took more workshops, and I'm in there with a bunch of actors there in all kind of movies and shows and stuff like that. And I did my little monologue and from a movie scene and all that. And man, everybody was in there. They was crying. They was like, "Yo, you're really good." I'm like, she's like, "This your first time doing this?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so stuff like that gave me the courage. I'm like, "Nigga, you can do whatever." Like, what's up? Like, what's next? Like, so. That's what gave me the courage to like just step out on faith. Like I feel like we all have a gift. Yeah. Everyone has a gift, you know. You just got to tap into it. You just got to find what it is first, you know. Whatever it is that you do the easiest with the least amount of effort that you love, that's it. Just do that, you know, and always stay true to yourself. And that's what worked for me. Always I just stopped thinking about what when I stopped thinking and worrying about what everybody else thought of me and what they would think and stuff like that.
Leveled up.
Yeah, I leveled up. It was like it was no looking back ever since then. So that was what got me over the hump and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think my aha moment was my first time outside. Like, I've not outside the hospital, like outside when you go home and you're around your friends. And I went to Jamaica Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
When kids get out of school.
Queens.
So,
lit.
You know, anybody that's from Queens.
It's like 20 high schools
if you know Jamaica Avenue, you know how crowded it gets after school. And
yeah.
I used to be on the Ave every day after school because I got to take the train home or whatever. So I went on to the Ave. And, you know, this is when I was freshly in, like, I just came home. I don't even think I had my new chair yet. So I was in, like, the hospital chair, the big chair. So as soon as I get up there, everybody's like, "Frenchie!" And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, at first it's, like, nerve-wracking because I don't feel like the same person. Even though people see you and they're like, you're still the same to them. You know, to myself, I didn't feel like myself anymore. It was just like I felt like a baby, and I felt like somebody was pushing my stroller. That's literally what it felt like. So it felt like just those nerves and those jitters. And then when it's like, once I went up there, I was like, I'm still like that bitch. And that's how I acted. And then from that moment, like, I just didn't care anymore. Like, I was like, this chair is not gonna be me. I'm not the chair. I'm still me. Like, I'm still that. I'm still gonna roll around like I'm that, and I am that. You know what I mean? So I just put my confidence back on. I feel like I downplayed my confidence a little. I never lost it, but like when I was in the hospital, I used to go do my hair, fix myself up. I was cool in the hospital too, but when you get back in the real world, it was like, okay, well, let me just sit up in the bleachers. But then I was like, nah. Once I got back in the game, it was like, damn.
Lit.
It was like, yeah. Then everybody came to me like, teach me the game, Ghost. So that's what it was for me. But what about you? How was your mental journey?
My mental journey, it took time. So I always say, like, because a lot of people reach out to me and ask for like help, and even when I first got injured, I try to give them the best answer. But my number one answer is like time. Everybody's time and healing process is so different. Like, you may heal a year, I might take 5 years, you might take 3 years, you might take 2 months. Everybody's healing process is so different, and time is very important. So I got shot when I was 18, and when I first got injured, I didn't even get to adjust to what's going on because the bullet had damaged my body so much. So I didn't even get to rehab or nothing. So I didn't even know mentally, I didn't even know what was going on, to be honest. Like I said, I had tubes, I had to learn how to talk. I had tubes down my throat. My kidney got infected. I was on dialysis. My lung got punctured. So me mentally, I didn't know where I was at, to be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, am I going to die? No, I thought I was going to just die. Because I'm like, all these complications is happening at once. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, shit, this shit might be it. But my sister, like I said, she played a big role in all of this. One day she came, because like I said, I was in ICU like pretty much like a lot of people's experience is so different. They could, they get injured, they go straight to rehab. It took me like 8 months to get to rehab because my body was so damaged from the bullet. So like I think it was like the second month in. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't even know I didn't know I was paralyzed either. Because like I said, it was just so much complications that was going on. Like I had tubes all over me. So like the second month, my sister came in and I'm like, damn. Talk to my sister. I'm like, this is it, huh? Like, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, nah. She said, you got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah.
She said, you're going to have kids. He said, this is nothing. She said, you got your whole life ahead of you. You're going to start a family. This is nothing. And from there on, I don't know what clicked. But like I said, but I still had to go through mad stuff. I'm on dialysis. I got freaking infections. My temperature is going up 130 degrees. So I took what she told me and I stuck with it. I'm like, all right, if she's saying that, like, and she see the light at the tunnel, maybe I could do this, right? Yeah. So like the third month came, I started getting more healthier and like my body, I'm realizing what actually happened. Like, yo, listen, this bullet messed up my body pretty bad. How the hell my first thought was walking. Like I'm like, yo, I'm like I said, I'm coming from an athletic background too. So I'm like, this ain't nothing. Like I'm just get up and just run it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me just go to the rehab process. So like I said, the third or fourth month, I was like, you see what I'm saying, starting realizing what's going on with my body. Nobody told me I was paralyzed, and I think that was a great thing because I think I would have freaked out. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know I couldn't move anything, to be honest. Like I said, I was going through so much. So I'm glad nobody let me know because I think that would have probably shocked me even more, right? So by like the fourth month, like I said, after that conversation with my sister, the biggest hurdle for me was going back into society, right? Because everybody was used to Jesse in this certain image, right? Now, this is a new image in a wheelchair. How the hell everybody's going to perceive me? I don't know how females is going to look at me now, right? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you how I got over that hurdle, right? So once again, my sister plays a huge role. She's, I think it was like the 6th or 7th month out. She's like, we going to the mall. I'm like, shit, what the hell? Like, because the first thing you notice when you go outside is what? People staring at you.
Yeah, because
and you're going crazy. Like, the first time I was outside, I was literally going crazy because I'm like, yo, why is everybody looking at me? You see what I'm saying? So we go to the mall. First thing, I'm like, all right, I'm being in the mall. I'm like, yo, how are we going to get upstairs? My sister's like, figure it out. There's an elevator in the mall, right? So she just she's forcing me to be on my own. So when I go in the mall, I run into 2 chicks. First thing they come see me, they come and run like, oh my, kind of like your situation. He's like, Frenchie. They came up, hugged me. Oh my God, glad to see you. Show me mad love. That calmed me down because I'm like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that was like a reassurance. Like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big leap in process for me, where it's like getting back. The mental thing was basically getting back into society and seeing that, I'm me getting adjusted to this new body. Everybody else is getting adjusted to this new body. Because like I said, I was a popular dude, so it's kind of like I said, I never met somebody in a wheelchair prior to my injury, especially on like Staten Island. Like, there's
only old people.
Only old people, or like a homeless guy. You see a homeless guy and a dude in the chair, but I never really met nobody in a wheelchair. So for being that young, and like I'm like, all right, I'm about to figure this out. And then another hurdle was one time, my friends, we was going to a barbecue. Like I said, your first events is big, like going to a club in a chair, like, because it's like you're trying to figure out how to navigate around certain things. So we was going to a barbecue. I know everybody's going to be there. They's going to see me. My man's, and he picked me up. We go to the barbecue. He takes the chair out the trunk. My friends see me. Everybody's like, oh my God, that relaxed me. So I think a lot of it is just mentally. Mental is like a mental thing, and getting that, because a lot of times you just talk yourself out of things. You see what I'm saying? So that was like I said, like the beginning, it was rough, but I feel like you can't rush that process. You have to go through what you go through. You know what I mean? You have to go through this experience. And some people, 5 years, 10 years in, they kind of hold themselves back from just going to the clubs, just going to the mall. So they don't know the experience. They don't know how it's going to feel. Because like I said, maybe once you get off that hurdle, it's going to be like a little smooth sailing. But you have to get over that hurdle. You know what I mean?
That's right.
If you have a disability, I don't care what kind of disability out there, speak up, right? don't let nobody walk all over you guys, okay? All right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you deserve to be in any spot an able-bodied person need to be. You know what I mean? You deserve to be here.
You deserve to be in your space, not to cut you off, bro. Go ahead.
Nah, like you said, everybody deserves to be in a space and play a role in this earth, in this community. So don't let nobody run all of you just because you have a disability. Like I said, you deserve to be here. And I think that's like kind of the point.
That's the main point. And we wanted to do this episode because we wanted to get a little vulnerable with you guys and show y'all like we wasn't always just these people that we are right now. You know, like it took us some time to get here to this point. So when you see us, don't just be like, well, damn, I don't know. Because a lot of people hit us up. They, you know, like, oh my God, you're so strong. Da, da, da. It took us some time to get to where we at. Take your time. I say that shit every episode. Take your time. Take your time. Don't look at us and say, well, they just this and that. We ain't wake up like this. Well, nah, we woke up like this. You know what I mean? Like we woke up looking like this, but personality and stuff like that comes with just who you want to be. Yeah. When you get injured, when you're disabled or whatever, figure out who you want to be. Don't let people tell you who you are because they'll just put you in a box. Oh, disabled. You know what I mean? Like handicap. That's it. That's the only box that people will ever put you in as long as you have a disability. But if you don't uncheck that box and say, well, no, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, you'll forever stay in that category. Boss up and do what you got to do for yourself. Stop letting people tell you who you are. Know who you are.
Exactly.
Right. So, with that being said, each week the audience and our family send in a question. Pretty much asking,
asking us our opinions.
On certain subjects. And sis, what was the question for the week?
This week, the question was, do we think that people with disabilities should play disabled people in movies? And my answer is hell yes, because it's not fair that they hire people that are able-bodied to come play a blind person, come play a deaf person, come play this, when it's fully amazing people with disabilities that can go do these roles without any type of training on how to act these ways. You know what I mean? Just even what's the show called In the Dark with the girl that plays blind? I don't know if you see it. It's a girl that plays blind. She's not really blind. And it's like you could have hired a blind girl to do this movie. You know what I mean? Like she can talk, she can do all these things with the stick and everything. You could have hired somebody to do that. But instead, the people that actually want to act with disabilities, we're put like on some back burner. You know what I mean? And it's like we got to wait for these once in a lifetime roles to come in because we can't play anybody. We're in chairs. You know what I mean? So we have to play a character that's in a chair. Walking people could go sit down in a chair and they could play, you know what I mean? Like whatever they want to play. So it's not fair. I think that it should be more diverse in the acting world. And when I want to get into everything, so I hope that one day that I do cross paths with that. But I'm okay if I don't, because I already have a lot of tattoos, so I already know it's not a lot of roles I could really play.
Makeup, they put makeup.
Makeup. Now. So I guess I do want to do it. So I do want that chance. I don't want that chance to be taken away from me by somebody that's just sitting in a chair when I actually live this every day. What about you guys?
But he's an actor.
For me, so yeah.
It's more personal.
Inclusion, it's more personal for me because I'm actually, like, that's the reason why I actually got into this. I love film. I love movies since a kid. Like, I always see myself doing something big and crazy, being on television somehow, doing something.
It's Mr. Bumble, y'all.
Listen, I got
bubbly.
They cut the check. They cut the check. I got paid
Shout
for that.
out to Bumble, man.
Yeah, I got paid. Shout out to Bumble, man.
Holla at me next.
Yo, Google. Shout out to all y'all. Got paid. They cut checks, man. So, but yeah, like seriously, it's inclusion. For me, it's inclusion, right? Because the what's the alphabet? The LQGBT.
You gotta get it right. You better
right. Don't they coming. They don't come for you.
Community.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Let's be politically
the community.
correct.
Every time you turn the television on, let's be clear. They're everywhere. Like they're on and they're playing the actual character. They have actual gay people playing the roles.
But there are straight people that play gay people.
But for I feel like now it's getting more to the point.
It's more.
Right. And so that's what I feel like it should be the same way with us. If they're gonna,
I agree.
It could be 50-50. They could have some parts where it's an able-bodied person, but for the most part, they need to have people with an actual disability playing a role. Because wouldn't that be so dope if we look like we know someone and we like, yo, that's such and such from, and we see them actually in a movie or on television or on something. That's so, and knowing that they actually go through these things, right? It makes it more real. Just knowing that if I see friendship, they're like, yo, friends like catching a spasm, like, oh, she really goes through that. Right. Yo, it's more heartfelt, like, so that's for me. That's the reason why I actually got into it, because it's a lack of representation, which that's the reason why I actually got into acting. I want to be. I don't see many people in wheelchairs on film, on television, in commercials, and anything. So that's what made me push for it and actually start it. So.
And when we say disabilities, we mean everybody.
Every type of disability.
It's not just wheelchairs. You know, it's the blind, it's the deaf, the cerebral palsies. You know, the whatever the dwarfisms and all of that. Like, I feel like everybody should be playing those roles because you know the dwarf. I don't know if I don't want to say the little people. They play their roles. You know what I mean? Can't no big people play their roles. So they starting to get more and more in the movies, which is dope. Right. But it's like, you know, let's make it all the way inclusive because you wouldn't have a black person play a white person or a white person play a black person. You know, it doesn't make sense to do that. So let's make it make sense. That's right. And then you show these people that are able bodied and you show them in like a chair or something, for example, and then their legs are all strong and their bodies and they could do this and they just one day stand up and it's like, well,
they say cut and then they just get up, like, cut. They get up and just start running
like that.
Nah, I mean, listen, this is episode 5. Remember, y'all gonna see me. I'm gonna be on somebody movie, television show, something.
I'm gonna be America's Next Top Model. Period.
I'm a comedian. I sell out a lot of comedy clubs. I already know I could be on that stage easy. And a lot of comedians ain't even messing with. Like, I done been in comedy clubs with other comedians and they know what's up. They know what's up.
Solidified.
They know what's up.
So we stand out. Make sure you remember that part.
Sit down comedians taking it to the top. Is 2021? You know what I'm saying? And they know when you come behind me or you in front of me, you got to bring it. So it's like I said, we could do these jobs and we could do these roles as any able-bodied person out there. You know, we very like I said, we're talented people also. So let's put more inclusiveness into into the social media and you know what I mean in the community period because it's needed.
Yeah, right? In the world, like go outside, y'all, like party. Me go in the clubs, go in the spots. Everybody always hit me up like I need to come party with you.
Y'all watching us? As soon as y'all finish, go outside.
Go outside.
I want to see you outside.
Drink some. What's that? What we drinking? Roscato.
Yeah.
Make a video, tag us of you just living your life. Oh, yeah. Whoever does that will get posted.
Start tagging from the throne.
Hashtag from the throne. Whoever's having the most fun.
Hashtag it and send it to us.
We're gonna post it.
And we're gonna post it.
Yes, have fun, y'all. Like y'all can't sit there and wait.
We outside.
We outside.
We outside. What the little dude said on Instagram? We outside.
Especially people that acquired their disabilities over a lifetime. You realize that life is too short. It's no way of telling what. If I had one more day with my legs, I would have did so much. You know, if I would have knew that was my last day with my legs, I would have did so much things differently. You know, I would have ran across the day.
I would have ran a marathon.
Yeah. I tell everybody, if I start walking again, I'm running everywhere like Forrest Gump. You ain't gonna see me walking. I'm good. I don't need to drive. I don't need no car. I'm good. I got this. But what you got for the?
So each episode we're gonna have a portion of the show pretty much highlighting a disability fact. So this week, disability fact, I want to talk about chronic pain, right? So last week we actually talked about pain management and dealing with drugs and you know what I mean and such. So this week we're gonna talk about chronic pain. Chronic pain is the leading cause of disability globally, right? Also, I think it was reported in 2016, the CDC reported that an estimated 20% of adults have chronic pain. 8% of those adults reported that pain is limited their life work, activity, and most of everyday living, right? So you see somebody dealing with chronic pain, right? You don't really physically see that person like dealing with the pain, right? But they're going through a shitload of stuff throughout the day, right? So it prevents them from staying at work a little longer, you know what I mean? Or doing activities that they like to enjoy, right? So also chronic pain patients are 4 times more likely to deal with depression or anxiety. So dealing with chronic pain, you could deal with a lot of mental illnesses because you're always in pain. So you start I can't go out. So it could lead to other stuff like depression, anxiety. So I mean, and also dealing with those certain pills, those cause certain mental triggers, right? So this week we're talking about chronic pain, right? And also, like I said, and what is the different methods that we can use to ease certain pain that that we deal with on a daily basis?
For me, it's stretching and getting out of my chair. I can't say anything else because I stopped taking the drugs since I was in the hospital. I haven't took them for pain ever since. My mom gave me a naproxen once my back was really on fire, but that was the only time that I ever took it. And I could literally count that one time. And it's crazy because I go through spasms. Anybody that has spasms knows, like, these are no joke. They make you feel like you want to throw yourself out the chair. Like, you just want to, you know what I mean? Like, just get up and jump, or just stab yourself in the leg just to make the pain, like, go away. I don't know. It's weird, but stretching for me works.
But yeah, so we wanted to pretty much say that, like, chronic pain is a real, like, because I deal with it 24/7. As, like, I'm talking right now, I feel it. Like, it just electric shots going through with my legs and my stomach, so it just doesn't stop ever. So this is a real thing that people is dealing with. And for me, like I said, what I try to ease my mind with sometimes, you know, I think like Frenchie said, she's stretching in the morning. I don't know, I try to do anything to help this. So stretching does help. Exercising daily.
Eating better.
Eating better. Dieting. So because I know, like, what I do notice, my pain increases if I'm just stationary and I'm stagnated. If I'm just laying in bed all day or something like that, which I barely do, but when I do, it's like, I guess because I'm thinking about it more, it just intensifies. You know what I mean? So,
avoiding the rain and the cold.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, like, yeah, that's another thing. I know those are people that live in, like, in the colder states, and it's probably a little
hot
worse.
baths work. Hot baths with Epsom salt really does wonders. Massages.
Certain foods, bananas, they help a lot. The
potassium.
It does.
It's good for your spasms.
Water. Drink a lot of water.
Also, like salads and stuff like that, because a lot of times, sometimes you know, we get constipated a lot too because we're not able to, our body doesn't function.
Our body don't circulate the same way.
So it's your diet. A lot of times the salads and the fruits and stuff like that help you go, and that alleviates a lot of the pain also.
Because you got to remember, you got all that built up in your stomach. It's going to put pressure on your kidneys, your liver, all of that. And then when your kidneys start hurting, your back start hurting, your back start hurting, your legs start hurting, everything start hurting when your back start hurting. So
you just got to find a way to cope. I feel like
be healthy.
You just have to find a way to cope, because everything I do, it's my diet and me exercising. That pretty much helps, because I couldn't deal with the pain pills anymore. The pain pills were just, my spasms, they come all day long, but the pain pills is just, it's not. That was making me worse. I was just getting more depressed.
I'd be like Pookie if I took a pain pill every time I felt pain.
And also, like I said, chronic pain could be a long-term thing. Like, it's not some people deal with, like I said, I'm dealing with I think I'm probably dealing with for the rest of my life. So, you know, it's okay to just go through those. Like I said, though, you don't feel any type of way because you're going through certain situations with this pain. It is what it is, right? You know, you just got to deal with it. And, you know, one thing I always say, tomorrow's another day. The sun's going to shine another day, right? Hopefully tomorrow, you know, it's, you know what I mean? It just gets better, right? But, you know, that's what I do about chronic pain. You know what I'm saying?
So every week you end it off with the positive fact.
So yeah.
What are you positive?
Each week we ended off on a positive note, and something that we're grateful for, and just, you know, like, I think we just want to spread more positivity in the world. Such a negative world we live in. One thing I'm just be very simple. I'm just grateful for life in general.
I swear I wasn't even gonna get so deep. Bro, I was gonna say I woke up today.
That's all you need.
Listen, you woke up today. You got a chance. You got to take advantage, man. Take advantage of your life, man. Own it. Own your life and do something with it.
You about to beat them up if they don't.
Listen,
you gonna wake up.
I'm not gonna sit every day and be
talking about.
Because this is
It's very simple.
Get your ass up.
Get up.
Do something. I don't
get
care
up.
if you
Get up and
disabled.
do something.
I don't care if you don't got no legs, no arms, your damn neck cut off. I don't care. Do something with yourself.
Right. You ain't got a bottom half.
You
got it. Like, each day you got another chance at hope. Like, if you got hope, anything can happen. Like, if you could think negative about something, you could think positive about something. You know what I'm saying? And your life can change in just a day. But you also have to have the willpower. Like, listen, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna make something of myself today. You know, knowing that, like, you know, like I said, each day you got to make each day count. I don't know, it's a joke. They be like, oh, and you only got like 30 summers left. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, it's like think about it. We don't got that much summers left as you get older. So you know, even like with COVID, you know, last year, it just realized, like, yo, stuff is really limited. It really, like, you know, everybody was inside, and you really had to really understand, like, the leisure of just going outside and going to the bars and restaurants, because that's the stuff I like. I love going to restaurants.
I love
you know
food.
I love food too. Like,
I love food and liquor.
I just like to be out. I just want to be out and just be amongst. I'm saying, sitting across the table, across something pretty. You know what I'm saying? And just
that's my thing.
I could just be chilling. Just have me outside. I don't want to be in a house.
That's it.
That's it. Man.
And so I'm grateful for life.
I'm grateful for my first of many paid modeling gigs.
Hey.
Thank you to brother Jesse for setting that one up. You know, if you need a manager, Jesse's here. He got you. He booking everybody, booked and busy. So
this was killing me.
You know, I'm happy that we got to do that. I'm happy I got to do it with you guys, and I'm just ready for more of those. And I figured out, you know,
that was the first of many.
I always wanted to model, so I was just so happy to just be doing it. And it's like now I just it put my foot in, it put my wheel in the door. Mm-hmm. Now I want to get the whole chair in.
Yo,
you know?
And then to be honest, like I said, you like natural with the camera, so.
I think we all are.
Nah, well, I'm saying I've been around other people. Just like I said, for that your first gig, you're just a natural. You're really a natural. So, listen, we
look good.
We look good.
That's on television.
I was saying,
give us a show.
Cut the check.
Cut it. Come on, stop playing. Stop playing. Come on, we look good. Don't play. Listen.
Mona Scott, put us on VH1.
Give us some money.
Put us on
Give
TV.
us a shmoney.
Call it Will Love. Who want to be with us? We gonna start a whole reality dating show for us.
They should have a show about that.
Yeah, like Will Love. Like, yeah, who want to love us?
I can't go on that show. I get in too much trouble.
Your two chicks gonna have you in trouble.
Damn, I'm dripping wine.
Hottie, I can't be.
Well, I can't get in trouble because I'm free. Well,
I'm
Boogie
free, but
Ella,
I'm not free. Oh, be free.
Be free, baby. Free. So if somebody out there playing with you, remember, summertime is coming up and be free. That's how I want to end that on. Thank you.
So you got anything to say, bro? What you grateful for? You grateful for life, too?
I woke up.
I woke up
today.
like
I'm great. Yeah, I woke up
got
today.
eyes to see and ears to hear. You know what I'm saying? That's all we need. So that was episode 5. That was wrapping up episode 5. We'd like to thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You know what I mean?
See y'all next time.
I'd like to see y'all next time. And make sure you guys please share,
like, and subscribe.
And I'll see you on episode 6. Hey.